Hello, everybody. Hope all is well on this Thursday evening. We will be having, hopefully, Mr. John St. Baptiste on. He was with me in the Google Hangout. We were talking a little pre-game, and then I lost our good friend, Mr. John St. Baptiste, so hope all is well, and hopefully he can rejoin us. If not, we will do our chat with John St. Baptiste at another time. But we're up and we're live, and we have Captain Carl in the chat and Tribes Fan. How's everything going? I just finished a wonderful discussion on Retro Sports Network with Uncle Ron Juckett, ID Gesture, and Dave Gardner regarding modding card and dice sports sims games, and we talked about some other issues. Hey, Peter, how you doing? Peter Griffin. Hope all is well. And again, John St. Baptiste, we had him in the pregame. We were talking in the Google Hangout, and I lost him. I resent the link to him, and if everything's A-okay with him, he will join back up, but I decided I'm going to start up. Oh, there he is. We have found Mr. John St. Baptiste. He is in the chat. So I sent you another email, John. And I will send it again. I just sent another email to you, buddy. Yeah, I was talking and I lost you. So try the link again. So again, we have Mr. John St. Baptiste. It's going to be a really fun chat, very knowledgeable about music and many other things, literature, Game of Thrones, all kinds of good stuff. He's a Cincinnati Reds fan. He loves his Reds baseball. So feel free to chime in. And we're just going to riff with Mr. John St. Baptiste. I love his knowledge, his eclectic knowledge on all things. It's just a lot of fun. If you've not checked out his channel, as my auto shutdown, hold on. And hopefully, there we go. My headset always wants to auto shutdown. Can everyone hear me still? So I'm going to give you Mr. John St. Baptiste a link to his YouTube page. And that's his YouTube page. Mr. John St. Baptiste. Again, wonderful knowledge on many different subjects. Literature, music, Game of Thrones. Pleasant YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. He's a member of the FOC, Friends of the Channel, Friends of the Community. And John, if you're still there, my friend, I will send another email. Let's try another email. We'll just send. And bear with me, we had John in the pregame, and we lost connection. So we're going to send him another email. Paste. All right, and we will send that to Mr. John St. Baptiste, and hopefully we can get him right back in this chat. There we go. Paste. Send. Alrighty. If not, John, if you're still in the chat, I will put the link in the chat and then I'll just delete it out. Hello, Sam's Tangled Web. Congratulations on your 100th video. How you doing, my friend? Hope all is well. Sam's Tangled Web put up his 100th video. Check out that wonderful channel. Also, check out Comics with Bueller. So, John, if you're still in the chat, I can put the link in the chat and then just delete it. How are you doing today, Sam? He's doing well. That might work best. Okay, I'm just going to do that. We're rolling the dice, folks. There we go. Sometimes technical issues happen, and you just got to improvise and adapt. Click on that, my friend John. Sam, I haven't checked out your 100th video, but congratulations on that. I will be checking it out probably tomorrow or the day after. What's on tap with you and Bueller? How was that pay-per-view? Wrestling pay-per-view. And again, we're awaiting John St. Baptiste. It's always fun when you have technical issues when you're live streaming. Oh, what a night, late December back in '63. That it was a special time for me. What a lady, what a night. I think you need to answer or something. No, if you just click on the link, you should be good. You should be good, John. I've never had to do anything besides that. Hello, Bobby. How are you, my friend? Bobby, click on the link to see if it works. Oh, so Sam says the pay-per-view wrestling wasn't too bad. Excellent, excellent. Yeah, that link should work. Again, this is what happens sometimes when you live stream, but hey. No, I just have the Jiggly quote. Okay, let me try it again. Copy. Paste. Try that. I'm going to get rid of this one. At some point, this will work, folks. As everyone's saying, hi to everyone. So how's everything going this Thursday evening? Say I need Google Hangouts, LL. Says I need Google Hangouts. Well, yeah. All right, I don't understand why this is not working. All right, I'm going to click on the link. Let's see what the hell it does for me. It worked for me. Now I just lost everybody else. Oh, God. All right, let's see. I don't understand why that's not working. Let's see what's going on here. Let's try it one more time. As this is riveting YouTube. Keep singing. I just want to get Mr. Johnson. He says, new link. That one didn't work either? There's only one link. Let's try it again. Hello, Moni G. Moni, click on this link, please. They're saying it's not working. I believe them. I just don't understand why. I'm trying to figure out. Hi, Captain Carl. I've deputized Captain Carl and Tribes Fan. Everyone's deputized. All right, let's see. Let's try an invite. Let's see if we can invite. All right, here, let's close this out. We're going to try it a different way. Let's delete this. Let's try a different way here. Bear with me a moment. You've already bared with me enough moments. I just got rid of the link, Moni. All right, hold on, Moni. I'll put it back in. I want to see if it works. I'm just trying to figure out why it's not working. So I'll put the link in again. Let's do copy. I'm putting it back in. Paste. All right, try that link, Moni, please. And I'm going to invite John by email without sending. It says, let's invite via email. Let's try it this way. Copy. As Bobby says, John, quit causing Al trouble. He's not causing any trouble. Paste. Invite. That is not working. Okay. Moni got on. Hello, Moni. How are you, my friend?
Hello, Al. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
I can see you. I can see you. No
I'm
cowboy
like
hat on tonight.
because I wasn't planning on doing this, so I don't know. What?
Well, I just wanted to see if the link worked, and it does.
Yeah, well, okay, it works. Surprise! And here I am in all my glory. You're welcome,
Yeah,
friend.
glory is. So, how are you? I'm gonna get rid of that
I'm all
now.
right. I'm all right.
Yeah, how goes summer vacay?
So I don't know why your link's not working, but I feel like I need to turn my camera off. It's good to see you.
Okay, you can turn your camera off. It was pleasant. I appreciate you
Wait,
helping
oh
me.
shit! Now I can't hear you. Ah.
So that's pretty funny. It's okay to swear.
I'm all right. Wait. Hold on. I'm doing something wrong here. What did I do wrong?
I can hear you.
I believe that you're not going to find anybody
So
who has
we're going to see if we can get John to join us. That's all right. That's fine. That's good. That way you don't have.
Not go alone in terms of dealing with terrorism. So to eliminate the.
Can you turn that down before I get a copyright hit for having that on?
And not the AUMF, and make sure that it can only be used for what it's intended.
I'm sorry. I did not mean to swear. I know.
No, I'm talking about the debate.
Oh, I am listening to the debate.
Yeah, so,
I should turn it down, eh?
Yes.
You can hear them talking in their presidential voices and cadence.
Yes, and that's fine. I just don't want to have the copyright hit. So
No, I don't want that either. Oops! Sorry.
No, it's fine. This is an impromptu chat with Al, as we're trying to get John Baptiste on. Moni's been kind enough to come in on the ride in that train. Hi, on cocaine.
I'm on the peace train.
On the peace train. So what did you do today, Moni G? Enjoying your summer vacay?
You know, I'm just trying to get my summer ducks in a row, which I'm not doing a very good job of.
So which summer duck do you have to get in a row first?
Oy, that's a great question, because I'm kicking around. I'm kicking all these summer ducks in. I don't know which one to do first. So that's half the problem. I was really gonna try to finagle going to con, but as it's turning out, I don't think I'm gonna be able to, which I'm kind of really bummed about. But and then every once in a while I'll get all excited and say, no, I can do it, and then I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can do it.
You know what? If it was meant to be, it was meant to be. If not,
yeah, it's just, you know, I haven't had a vacation in a
while.
A long time, yeah. You know, well, you have every summer as your vacation, right? But
well, that's not necessarily true, my friend.
Exactly, because you got to do all the stuff that you can't do necessarily during the year. At least that's kind of what I've put my summers aside for, and then they just get eaten up by a bunch of chores. So it'd be fun to take a vacation, you know?
John, I've sent you another link in Twitter, direct message. Try that one. That was strange. We had John on. We were talking some pregame. What we're going to talk about. I was very excited. And
yeah. Then he disappeared.
I was talking. I was like, whoa, that's weird. So I kept waiting for him to come back. And I said, well, I better start. And now we have Moni pitching.
I'm pretty technically challenged myself. So
holy cow, it happened.
Hello, John. Well, great to meet you.
John, Moni, John. Moni.
Via
I don't know
Hangout.
what's going on with my computer, but so I'm on my phone now. Sorry about that.
No, that's all right. So, all right.
I will let you guys get on with your conversation. It was a pleasure to meet you, John. And peace and love, everybody.
Peace and love, Moni. Thank you. That's Moni G, everyone. Thank you very much. All right. It took us a bit, but we have John St. Baptiste. A wonderful, wonderful channel. Mr. John St. Baptiste. How the heck are you? I'm so glad you're on.
I'm doing okay.
I don't know. How's the sound quality in the chat, guys? I'm having trouble hearing you, John. I just want to see if they're having trouble, if it's just my end. So, anyway, hello, Sports Time Machine. Go ahead, John. Sorry.
Oh, I was just asking if everybody could hear me all right.
Now I can hear you. Maybe it was just okay. That's good. I have bad hearing anyway. It's me. So, John, first of all, thank you very much for coming on the channel. I appreciate your time. Tell us, I know what your channel's about. Tell us about your channel. Just describe your channel for our viewers.
Music and books. I mean, they're my two passions. I curate music, so I put together playlists every week that are thematic one way or another, from all sorts of different diverse genres, but they have a theme, and put those on, and I actually curate the music. I talk about the artists, the albums, if there's any backstory behind them.
That's what I find extremely interesting, and it drew me into your channel, was the backstories you give and just your thoughts on different types of music that I might not have listened to. Sports Time Machine says hello. He says it was an honor to have you in his chat the other day when he did the game. He said thank you. So that's pretty cool.
No, Sports Time Machine, thank you. That is a game that I've always wanted to see, and I'm sorry your channel, your thing dropped, because that is a game that I have always wanted to see played out, as the 1975 Reds versus the 1927 Yankees.
Yeah, that's epic. So
epic.
Again, back to your channel. I'm sorry, because I just things pop in my head and I jump in. That's what attracted me to your channel, and you are one of the most positive people on YouTube. That's the other thing. You're like Comics with Bueller. You're like the two most positive. And there's a lot of positive people, but like I have never left one of your videos, just like either a Bueller video with, and most every, I'm just saying, like, I'm always got a smile on my face. It's just, and be excellent to one another, how you end that.
Now, do you know where that comes from?
That's Wayne's World, right?
No, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Oh, Wayne's World was the Saturday Night Live skit, and then, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Yeah. That's just, I just, your channel is fun, and I don't do justice when I try to explain it. So,
I love music so much, and I love sharing it with people, and that's what my channel is all about: sharing music and sharing books, and just I've taken a little hiatus from the music stuff because the last project I did was so intense. I mean, I was putting out a video a day for...
That was a Game of Thrones project where you were saying, watch this episode in this scene and put it to this music, which was really cool.
Yeah, what I did, I put out 5 tracks a week for all 6 weeks, and then had my viewers vote on which track defined that, because I've actually done every season of Game of Thrones, my musical episode by track interpretation. And so I mean that it was so intense. So I just like needed to take a little break. But the music's coming back on Sunday. And another big thing I'm really excited about getting back into is what I call midweek music ear candy, which usually comes up on Wednesday nights. And that's where I specifically ask viewers to send me
Share.
something you think I've not heard.
Right. And I did that a couple of times. I sent you some Louis Prima, not knowing if you heard it or not. the Just a Gigolo, which David Lee Roth redid. Yeah, it's not Louis Prima's version, in my opinion, is much better. That's just me. But I like the David Lee Roth 2 thing. But yeah, I like
both. They're
both good. And the other one, you had oh God, I can see it's a punk rocker. Oh my God, My Way. I can see the guy. Is it the Sex Pistols?
Yes, Sid Vicious.
Yes, yeah. And that was I think, did they use that version in Goodfellas at the end?
Yeah, it actually is at the end of Goodfellas. And I had heard that before. I actually did a one of my weekly videos was essentially about giving your finger to everybody. And that was my theme song for the
because if you listen to that, it's, you know, you did it your way. And that's basically, you can interpret it however you want, but it is giving your finger to everybody, basically. I did it my way. It worked. And I did it.
Well, it didn't really work for Sid Vicious. He kind of...
No, not for Sid Vicious. For Frank, it worked well. For Frank, it worked well. But yeah, that's a really cool another version of the song that's very well done. Where did your love of music and literature? When did you? What song? What movie? What book said? Because you're really good at it, and the knowledge you have is it's incredible to me.
The first book I remember reading was like reading on my own, and it wasn't like a child's book.
Right.
Was Lord of the Rings, which I read, I think when I was about 8 or 9.
Wow. I just read that book about 10 years ago. The you know, the big thick book that had all of them in there, and you read that when you were 9. Wow.
Well, since I was 14, I've read it every year, once a year.
Tremendous book.
I started the day after Christmas.
Every year?
Every year.
That's cool.
Since I was 14. So we're talking more years than I'm willing to admit. That's
fine. Now, in my opinion, in that book, because I watched something also on the, I can't believe I forgot, the author who name escapes me. Tolkien. I hate one. Tolkien. To me, there's a lot of religious overtone in that book. And
he was a very devout Roman Catholic.
Yeah, because his documentary was absolutely outstanding.
But I actually am too.
Yeah, I know you are. I know you are, Mr. I know you are, Mr. John St.
My mouth, though.
Yeah, well, we all have faults. We all have faults. But the whole Gandalf the Grey turning into Gandalf the White, it's the I mean, I interpret it as the resurrection, but
right. Absolutely.
But I just want to touch point. So that was the book that got. What was the music? What was the song that gripped you? Or
not
hello, Clinton.
Song. The first music I remember specifically in my mind, and it's interesting because my father's the musical person in my family. My parents have been divorced since I was a very small child, but my father's the musical and my father's an amazing musician. If it has strings, my dad can play it. It's insane. Like, he's so talented. His level of talent just blows my mind every time but the first music that I can remember ever hearing is Mozart, specifically his the Jupiter Symphony. the 41st Symphony. I think that's why I have the passion and love I have for opera.
That was so cool when you were discussing opera, and I don't remember which video it was, but when you're discussing it and how that's another cool thing about your channel. And Clinton Parks has a question. I'm going to read it to you before I forget, but how the eclectic taste you have in music and the knowledge of all kinds of different music. I love it. I just love listening to it. Now, Clinton Parks asks, we'll get back to the music in a moment.
Yeah, I'm sorry I can't read any of the chat. I'm sorry, guys.
No, that's what I'm going to, because I remember you said you're on your phone. He says, John, have you read either the Dune novels or the Wheel of Time novels?
The Dune novels I've read about a dozen times. I absolutely love everything by Frank Herbert, and I think it was some of his best work. The Wheel of Time novels, I got about 6 in, and then I kind of quit. It wasn't out of boredom or anything like that. It had things going on at the time, and just wasn't able to complete reading them. And they're like freaking 30 or something like that.
Wow.
But yeah, Dune. Yeah, I'd say a large chunk of my favorite quotes are from specifically the 4th Dune novel, God Emperor of Dune.
Now, I've never read the novels. I saw the movie. I don't know which book it's based on. But okay. Clinton's obviously a big fan to ask that question.
I love Dave Lynch.
Yep.
And I love the books. I think it was a very poor matchup
to make into a movie.
I think Dave Lynch making the Dune film was a very poor idea. Okay. Because it doesn't come across as Dune, it comes across as a Dave Lynch film, which I love Dave Lynch's work. One of my favorites is Lost Highway, which, by the way, if you say you understand Lost Highway, you are totally lying. Because I've seen it like a dozen times and it still makes no sense.
Well, that's the way some books are. I've never read them, so I can relate to Lord of the Rings. Like I said, that's impressive to me that you read that at 9. I read it at I was in my 30s when I read that, and I did enjoy the book a lot. So to read that at 9, and Mozart, that's another very interesting. But again, that's where, because when you're talking about the books you've read, when you do that the book show on Wednesday, which is really a TV series show, but you're discussing the books also. And what again is, because again, I just follow your stream. I don't really follow the show. What's the name of the book and the author in the show?
So Wednesday, what we do is called Believe, and it's with my very, very good friend Amy True, who is on my other channel, the Cylon Johns, with another guy you know pretty well,
Johnny Be Crazy.
Crazy, who's probably my best friend in the entire world.
He's a good guy. I like Johnny.
You know, he's of all the people who are putting out current entertainment what's the word I'm looking for? Content, thank you. Of all the people who are putting out current entertainment content, I think Johnny is just the best person as a human being. I really like what he's doing. And like I said, he's probably my best friend in the entire world.
He's I always enjoy going to those Cylon John chats with yourself, Bobby, Mackenzie,
and
Clarissa, and even sometimes the one on Wednesdays, the young lady from the UK. I'm horrible with names, so please don't take offense. I'm horrible with names.
No, not at all. That's Amy. So
Amy. It's Amy. Yeah.
on Wednesdays, what we do is discuss currently, and he has such a huge library of books and now currently TV shows too. We discuss right now. We're discussing Neil Gaiman, and doing it once a week. We're this is just him is going to last a year or two. But right now we're discussing Good Omens, which is a book he wrote with Terry Pratchett, and it's a very humorous take on the end of the world. If you get the opportunity to watch it, it's a great show. The book's great, and what's really cool is, at least while we're doing all this Good Omens stuff, Amy's husband comes on too.
Yep, that's the first time I saw him on yesterday's show, which I was listening to while I was cooking.
And, yeah, in Amy's cousin or Amy's husband rather, not cousin.
That would be Arkansas. No, sorry, just a joke,
yeah,
people. A joke.
Yeah. He's a very book person, so it's kind of nice that to have somebody who breaks it down and can find a problem with everything.
That's what always amazes me about people who are really into book. I read and I enjoy the book and I can remember certain things, but then there's like you guys know like details, and you're sitting there debating it and saying it's just so much fun to watch and listen to that stream. So that's really cool. So your love for books comes from Lord of the Rings, and Mozart is where your overall love for. I don't think there's any. I think you've played all kinds of different. When you do your playlists, there's a lot of different types of music in your playlists that you do.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
And I remember you saying that you like all kinds of music as long as it's good.
I don't. There's this band called Hayseed Dixie, and they are a bluegrass band that started off doing bluegrass covers of metal music.
That's interesting.
Actually, the first album was a hillbilly tribute to AC/DC. That's where they got their name from, Hayseed Dixie.
Wow.
And there's this really cool quote that Jed, their singer, says that, we started this band because I do believe that Lost Highway and that Highway to Hell are the same road. And if you only listen to one type of music, how many people do you know who only have one type of music in their record collection? Well, nobody who I want to sit and have a beer with.
That's true, because I can listen to Louis Prima, Frank Sinatra, Metallica, right? AC/DC, Nat King Cole, Motown. I can listen to so many different different types of music. I'm forgetting one of my favorites. I can think of Stairway to Heaven. I can't think of. Wow. Brain
Track
dead.
number 6 on Zeppelin 4.
Zeppelin, thank you. And did you ever see the video on YouTube with the kids in the music class? They did bum 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 bum, and they did it in music class, Cashmere? And they sent it. It's I can't think of the song because I'm horrible with names. What was it?
The name of the track. Kashmir.
Yes, absolutely marvelous. These kids. I want to say they're, just by looking at them, no older than 10, 11, 12 maybe, possibly younger. And they're in music class with a lot of percussion stuff, and it's just absolutely marvelous. It's
Wait,
just,
are you saying they did it a cappella?
They had a whole music class, and they used xylophones, a lot of xylophones and some drums and another thing, but it was just unbelievable. If you type in music class does Led Zeppelin kids, you'll find it. It's unbelievable, absolutely marvelous.
that's a track I've always wanted to hear somebody try and take on a cappella.
That would be
Like
tough.
barbershop quartet.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Well, there's all different ways of singing music. You could take any song and say, turn it to a metal song. You could take any metal song and turn it into, well, I would assume you could turn it into whatever you want. What was that group? They took the Michael Jackson song. They were a garage band. That was their big hit. Oh God, I wish I could remember.
Ant Farm.
Yes. Thank God you're here, John, because I can visualize it. I can see the video. Stone Cold Criminal or whatever, Smooth Crew, whatever. I can't remember. But I remember the first time I heard that song, John, I go, God, this song sounds familiar. And then I realized that's a Michael Jackson song. So.
Well, it's music, it has, I mean, it reaches across generations. And there are so many cool things. Like, ever since my ex and I split up, like, I get my season tickets to the opera just for myself. And I get a second ticket in case I have a friend I can bring. But I end up, the way my seating, because it's pretty cool, because if you pick up season tickets, you pick where you sit in the theater, ahead of time.
Yep.
And my seat is next to this older gentleman who's been a season ticket holder for 64 years.
And you've done some videos on you going to the opera, which were fun.
Yeah. But his wife passed away a few years ago. And I've just made friends with this guy because we sit next to each other at the theater. And I mean, that's the thing. That's what my channel's about. Music makes people come together.
Yeah, it was funny because Bobby and Moni quoted that in the chat. Music brings the people together, and that's what I really love about your channel. And you're right that, like sports will bring different generations together.
Unless you're an Eagle fan.
Right, and then that's bitter.
Eagles fan, then you're just. Did you know this is a fact? That, and I'm sorry for anybody out there from Philadelphia, but this is a fact. The stadium that the Eagles play in has its own judge and drunk tank.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I found that out on NFL films when I was a kid, when they used to do NFL films. Like that was one. Yes, there is. You are correct. At least they had it in the day.
Because I live in Cincinnati.
Yes, you're a big Reds fan. We'll get to that.
Huge Reds fan. But when it comes to NFL, I'm a Minnesota Vikings fan.
The Purple People Eaters.
I happen to be living in Minnesota in '99, and that was when I started getting into NFL. Yeah. I've always been much more of a Saturday football fan than a Sunday football fan.
Okay, college, yeah.
Notre Dame.
I was always a Penn State fan.
Until that one day.
Yeah. But that
was a long time ago. You can put that in your past. I don't think anybody needs to feel any fan guilt about that anymore.
Yeah.
But,
go ahead. Sorry, John.
Oh no, I was just saying, like, the NFC North, the fandom is so polite. Like,
not like Philadelphia, huh?
You could walk into a Packers game, like you could walk into Lambeau, dressed to the nines and all your purple with a helmet on and everything, and people be like, "Oh, hey, can I buy you a beer? You're gonna lose today." Like, very polite. On the other hand, the city I live in, Cincinnati, has the rudest football fan, and it's not just Cincinnati; it's our entire division. like, so you have Cincinnati, you have the Cleveland Browns, you have the Ravens, and you have the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, because they changed it all up. Yeah,
their fans, like those four teams, have the rudest fans I've ever witnessed in my life for any sport, except for maybe like Argentinian soccer.
Argentinian soccer is nuts. Argentinian soccer is nuts.
I mean, nobody's got shot at a Bengals game
No.
before.
They're soccer. That's a whole nother. Back in the day, that was I remember when we first got this, because you're talking just real quick about fans, right? So in the Serie A, in the Italian league, they had like riots. They literally played a game in front of no one. There was no one in the stadium, right? But it's being, it's televised. That was one of the weirdest things. This was years ago on when the Fox used to have the Fox Soccer channel. No one's in the stadium because the two rival groups of fans would literally just clash. And they decided, we had enough of that. They had to stop the game one time, delay it. They replayed it. And there was no one in the stadium. It was just the teams and security. That was why.
I remember that. Because you and I are about the same age.
Yep.
And I remember that the game with no fans.
There's no, and I'm pretty sure it's Serie A in Italian league. And then England had their issues with the hooligans. Again, they take their soccer very, very seriously, football as they call it, which is they take it a little too serious. But that's they live, breathe, and die it. Cincinnati Cleveland rivalry in football. That's a nasty one. That is a nasty one.
That's not as bad as Cincinnati Pittsburgh.
Yeah, anything Pittsburgh's a nasty one also. Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. I'm a Patriots fan, but I always rooted for a second team. And in the late 70s, mid 80s, I also rooted for Cleveland. Obviously not when they if they ever played the Patriots, right? And Dog's not going to want to hear this, the Dog Show, but that whole 1980s when they lose that playoff game to the Raiders, that was heartbreaking to me watching that, because they finally get past they win the division finally, because they had some decent teams that they would just fall short, and the Steelers were coming to an end with their dynasty, and that whole interception, that was, most people remember Concraft had missed those field goals, and that's why they didn't have confidence, but he had made some at the end, and Retigliano called that play. And probably just like the Seattle head coach, Pete Carroll, if you could go back in a time machine, he would have given the ball to Lynch on the goal line. I'm glad he didn't, but he would have given the ball to Lynch on the goal line.
And that's the reason that for me, when it comes to sports, I like baseball and hockey a lot more than football, because.
What's your favorite hockey team?
Oh, the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Okay, they had a good year. Had a fine year.
Yeah,
Tortorella's their coach, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a bit crazy. He's kind of funny in that. His press conferences, John, are the best. They were asking him a question. He just looks at him. Next question. Did you hear me? Next question. Like, he just, no nonsense. John Tortorella. He was in New York with the Rangers, right? And I would just put WFAN on to listen to his press conferences, because
he's like a polite, better dressed, owns an iron, Bill Belichick.
Yeah, but he's the same way. They asked him, like, after he lost, when he said, we'll be back for a game 7 against the Bruins, and the Bruins beat them, right? And so they're asking him afterwards, he goes, well, what do you want me to say? He goes, we're going to, basically, what am I supposed to say? We're going to lose? He's just awesome. I can see where he rubs people the wrong way, but I find him highly smart and amusing. So I like guys like that. I was always a Billy Martin fan, even though I'll tell you this is sacrilege to Red Sox fans, but I always wanted Billy Martin to manage the Red Sox when he was alive, just to see that whole spastic attitude. And And but yeah, John Tortorella. Yeah, and I like John.
Oh, what if Sparky had managed the Red Sox back in the 80s?
I like Sparky. Sparky Anderson. Yeah, he was. Listen, he won with the Reds. He won with the Tigers. Here's the thing with the Reds, and you're a big Cincinnati Reds fan. In the 70s, you know, they had, I mean, okay, they lost to the Orioles in 70. And then they go, then they're in the playoffs almost every year. They lose to Oakland in 72. Then they win in 75 and 76. 75, they beat the Red Sox. 76, they beat the Yankees. They made the trade in 77 to get Seaver from the Mets, and they thought that was going to push them over. Then they only made the playoffs in 79, and they got beat by Pittsburgh. But they were coming to an end. I mean, and then in the 60s, you know, they were starting to – they were good teams. They were really good teams, mega teams. The one thing we talk about, because we do – you know, I do a lot of sports sims, right? What's amazing to me is how Sparky managed that team, because they really never had dominant starting pitching. They had good starting pitching, but not dominant starting pitching. In my humble opinion. That's all.
No, absolutely. I believe. I mean, that's why they call the Grade 8.
Because, yeah, he manages bullpen to perfection. He knew.
Captain Hook. That's what they used to call.
Yeah, that's right. Because he was, you know, his Captain Hook, and if he thought you didn't have it, you're gone, and he would yank you at any time. Then in Detroit, he did another fine job. So I don't know. I always liked Sparky Anderson. I thought he was I'll tell you, that's what's one thing we've lost from the game. You don't have like an Earl Weaver type anymore. You don't have a Billy Martin type. Sparky Anderson would go out there and mix it up with the umps every once. You know, you don't have that too much anymore. The last guy I used to really enjoy watching as a manager for his antics, and I like him. Again, sacrilegious. I'm a Red Sox. Lou Piniella. Lou Piniella did one of the funniest things I've ever seen. And he, Cincinnati Reds manager, World Series, right? And we're going to get to John after this about comparing.
Something that you need to see.
Yeah, all right, hold on. He's going to show us something. I like this. Captain Carl says, Sparky had extremely solid bullpens. Yeah. Starting pitching was not as good. Oh, wait.
1990 World Series, Reds baseball, signed by Lou Piniella.
That is awesome. That is awesome. I got goosebumps. I'm not lying, because I'm a huge Lou Piniella fan. I'm going to tell you this quick story. He was with the Tampa Bay Devil Rays then, right? And it's after, yeah, that's after Cincinnati, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
That team's a young team. And he was always, Lou Piniella was always well-groomed. If you ever saw him with the Reds, he always seemed like he was well-groomed and this and that. It's a Yankee thing, right? Now with Tampa Bay, the team's so bad, right? He'd be sitting there in the dugout, not shaved. I'm sure maybe it happened another time. But every time I saw Lou Piniella, he was always well-groomed, right? And he had that Yankee kind of, you know, he played for Billy Martin. He was one of Billy Martin's guys. So he's a bit hyper. And I don't remember the picture, but you can look it up on YouTube. It was a young pitcher. And he went in a game to go take him out. And the pitcher gave him lip, right? And he looked, and the pitcher was getting lit up. I mean, he was horrible. And so Piniella looks at him, and he says something. And they had literally, when they went back to the dugout, it was on, right? You know, they had the whole, in the back of the thing, a fight kind of thing. And so the next time the young pitcher pitches, I wish I could remember his name, the kid's getting lit up again. And ESPN did the funniest thing, because they literally knew this was going to happen, right? He refused to take the pitcher out. He was going to teach him a lesson, right? I took you out before. Now you want to be a wise guy. I'm going to let you take your beating. And the pitching coach, first the bench coach would get up and go, you could read his lips like, Lou, you want me to get the bullpen up? And he'd be like, no. And you have to understand, he's unshaven. He's wearing the pullover. He's not even wearing, you know, like the jersey, because the team. So he's sitting there going, so the bench coach like, oh, okay, and he sits back down, and the kid's getting lit up the next day. And again, he's not talking to the pitcher. He doesn't like the kid, right? And rightfully so, the way, your manager goes out to get you and you stink, right? You should just give him the ball and walk off the mound. And if you have an issue, take it in private it made for great theater, John. That's all I can say. So this goes on for a few innings. And finally, you can see Piniella go, nods his head. The bench coach gets up, right? Or the pitching coach, excuse me, gets on the bullpen phone, right? They get the guy. And he goes, you want me to go talk to him, Lou? No. Then he finally sends him out there, and he goes, what do you say? He goes, you want me to go get him? Or are you going to go get him? He goes, no, you go get him. And they literally had like another fight in the clubhouse right after that. It was Piniella at his most entertaining. And I'll never forget, I remember because ESPN said, oh, they can't wait till this kid pitches, after it happened the first time. Because when Piniella took him out the first game, John, the kid was off. I mean, he was getting lit up. And he was mad he was getting taken out of the ball game. And the second time was just hilarious because Lou just kept going, no, leave him out there. Lou, he got into a few scraps even in Cincinnati, I believe, with the nasty. I think he got into a fight with, was it Norm Charlton or one of those guys?
Yeah.
Again, I don't recommend it. He's an old, but I always liked Lou. ID Gestures in the chat. Check out that great channel. How you doing, my friend?
I totally remember that. One of my favorites is my dad always tells me this story. I think it was Seaver. And I can't remember who the coach was at the time, but he threw like 3 balls and like 9 fouls on somebody. And so the coach comes out. I'm almost positive it was Seaver. And
when he was with the Reds?
To like talk to him.
Yeah.
And he's just like, give me the fucking ball.
That's like Bob Gibson, right? Great pitcher in his heyday, right? When he was on top, he was just masterful. And it's like, you didn't want to make him I do the little games, and I make the joke, but he would throw at his mother if he thought she was crowding the plate. It's like, yeah, you're not crowding the plate on me. Again, here's my theory on that whole thing. Like, a guy hits a home run, get him out next time. But old school was, you hit the home run, you better run. Like, don't look at it, because I'm going to hit you. Maybe not this time, but I will get you. And it was just the anniversary, talking about how baseball has changed, right?
Drysdale. Oh my God.
Yes. Drysdale. Yeah, don't dig in. Don't dig in, folks. I'm going to plunk you. I'm sure
you've heard this story. John Drysdale, this was when Hank Aaron was going for his, his record.
Yep.
To knock out Ruth. Which, by the way, man, I got to give some respect to Hank Aaron. Like, he was getting death threats.
Yeah, that's silly. Isn't that silly? Someone breaking a record gets death threats.
It's ridiculous. But, Drysdale was pitching against Hank Aaron. And he was told to just walk him. They just beamed him.
Oh, that was old school because who was it? I can't remember the pitcher. It was like on one of those old, when I first started watching ESPN. ESPN's changed. I'm not going to get into that. I wish they'd just do sports. And my brother-in-law works there, so I really wish they would just do sports because I want everyone to keep their jobs and stuff. I forgot who it was. He's telling the story. He's like, I'm not wasting. He goes, I can get the job done in one pitch. I'm going to hit the guy with it, But just get. Julianne has a question. Question for John St. Baptiste. Who was the only guy in baseball to die sliding in? Well, that's not a pleasant question, Julianne. Die sliding into home. Wow, I don't know that. That's got to be old school. I thought it was going to be a happy question for John St. Baptiste.
Yeah, I that one I don't know.
I don't know. Is Clinton Parks in the chat? He knows everything baseball. So the other day,
you think of it. You think about like the people who you admire for what they do, at what they do, who aren't very pleasant people, like baseball. Like Ty Cobb nowadays would be a registered psychopath.
Yeah, he had some issues.
music, I mean, Mozart was.
Oh boy, he said Billy Martin.
Beethoven. I mean, I wouldn't even have a conversation with the guy. You know, and then you go on to like authors. Like there are a lot of people who are just jerks, but they're really good at what they do.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of
and sometimes there's some nice people too. But no, I know what you're saying. The as everyone's giving Julianne grief, as it was a bad. Well, she said her father told that joke about Billy Martin sliding into home because he was on his way home. That's a tough joke there. I'm a Martin fan, so that's okay, Julianne. I wouldn't use that one again. It's not, I wouldn't use that.
You know, I've got an even worse one that I can throw out there, and it's a music joke.
Yeah, I mean, you can do it.
All these great musicians who died, their careers were going downhill, and Rick Boland from T-Rex is the only one who's going anywhere. He was on his way home. And he would have got there if it weren't for that telephone pole.
T-Rex, bang a gong, right? Well, we've hit a couple of really touchy jokes now, but that's okay. That's what we do here. But
I was just trying to make Julianne feel better.
I know. That's the kind of guy John St. Baptiste is. And if you haven't subscribed,
for my channel too.
If you haven't, oh, she does. She's the one who does the artwork.
Yeah, she does all the thumbnails.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Don't be sorry. You told a joke. It's all right. It's a joke. So, I think it was the weekend that just passed was the anniversary of the 1967 Red Sox when they went into New York. And this is, to have them tell the story, you have to find it on YouTube. I seen it when Nesson did a documentary on them a few years ago. And so they go into New York and they're playing well. It's still early in the year and people don't believe in them yet. And, you know, they go into New York. It's the Yankees. Yankees are past their heyday, but it's still the Yankees. And I think Joe Foy, who played third base for them, had hit a home run the game before to win it or whatever, something like that. So the Yankees decide they're going to throw. And they threw at his head not once but 3 times, and they finally got him the 3rd time. Okay? And Foy gets up, and he goes to first. Well, Rico Petrocelli is like going spastic on the bench, right? And they all look at Gentleman Jim Lomborg was their ace. Young Gentleman Jim, who probably would have been a phenomenal pitcher had he not got hurt in that skiing accident. Right after the World Series. So they look at him, and Rico Petrocelli tells a story. He goes, "We just looked at Jim, right?" And he goes, and he nods his head. Now Lomborg starts telling the story. He goes, "Oh yeah, I'm hitting the pitcher when he comes up because he hit our guy in the head." You know, he goes, "That's class." Like he goes, "You shouldn't have done that. You can hurt someone. If you're gonna hit him in the back and blah blah blah." So the pitcher comes up, and he goes, "I can put the ball anywhere I want." Lomborg says, "I put it right between the numbers in his back. He's not going to get hurt. Going to leave a nasty welt. That's all." He threw at our guy's head. So the pitcher starts, and the pitcher was a big dude. That's why I thought it was a first baseman at first. But then I watched the video again, and he put a jacket. You know how pitchers, they put the jacket on if they're on base? In the old days, they put the jacket on. And so he's walking down, and he's mouthing off, and Lomborg's like, "Yeah, whatever." And then it's on. Both benches clear, and it's a brawl. The funny thing about the story was Rico Petrocelli's from the Bronx, and his brother worked at the stadium as security. And Petrocelli's on the bottom of, because him and Joe Foy just charge into the pile. And it's kind of funny because Foy gets mad. You know, he threw at my head. And Yastrzemski said that was one of those team building experiences because all those guys were young, right? And Yastrzemski had come up before them, but all the other guys sort of played together in the minors and stuff. So they all came up together, and they're very good. The way, you know, they had a good tight-knit group. And so Rico's on the bottom of the pile, and he goes, "All I can hear is someone go, 'Get the hell off my brother.'" His brother's throwing Yankees off of him, right? So the next game, they're like, "Hey, Rico, where's your brother?" He's like, "Yeah, they won't let him." He goes, "He's way up." They put him up like in the 3rd deck. They kept, because they used to let him go right near the dugout to be near his brother, and they were like, "Yeah, no more, go up there." It's a funny story. Plus, Foy didn't get hurt, but unfortunately, it was a foreshadowing Tony Canigliaro getting beamed in August when he got hit under the eye. And that was a disturbing story that they told that, that was not fun.
Yeah,
Ruined his career. In fact, he came back twice, played well, but then the eyesight went. He died very young, in his 40s, probably from those health issues. But anyway.
We were talking about Drysdale before. I mean, Drysdale died at what, like...
He died young. Now, Drysdale was married to... No, that's Ray Knight. Ray Knight was married to the female golfer, Lopez. Was it Nancy Lopez?
Yeah, like Don Drysdale was like 45 or something,
yeah.
Like that.
Do you remember when he was on the Brady? I think he was on the Brady Bunch.
No, it was a show I never watched.
Brady Bunch was one of those good...
Those shows on telly that you don't watch, and it seems like every time you catch an episode, it's the same episode. Like there's some unnatural law of the universe.
Now you're catching the same rerun. That's funny.
Like you catch the same rerun. For me, it's Seinfeld and the Brady Bunch. Like,
you don't like Seinfeld?
Yeah, I didn't care for it.
All right, I was a big Seinfeld fan.
But it's like, yeah, you it comes on and it's the same episode you saw like 6 years ago, and you're like, how is this happening?
That is funny. The show for me, and I've talked about it on my chats, and people who are younger than me will not know. There was a show, Lawrence Welk, right? It was on every Saturday. And it was god-awful. It was a music show. It's not that they weren't good at what they did. It just was god-awful. And anyone who knows Lawrence Welk, it was very dry. The people are very talented who sang, but it was just, And the thing that finally saved us was Benny Hill, because we clicked across, and my grandfather saw Benny Hill, didn't know who it was. We didn't know who it was, and he slapping the old guy in the back of the head. My grandfather laughed out loud. We were able to watch Benny Hill instead of Lawrence Welk for a half hour at least, and they would catch the last hour, half hour Lawrence Welk. And by that time, I could escape. You have to understand, when I grew up, there was one good TV, sort of good TV. It was, the antenna, right? And it was in the living room. Other than that, so you sat and you watched if you wanted to. And like Saturday when the grandparents, my grandfather and grandmother came over, you were forced to sit and watch Lawrence Welk. You're like, oh God, I hate this show. It was like torture. So yeah, I hate Lawrence Welk, awful.
Benny Hill is actually funny. Because I remember from when I was a little kid that when they ask you what you want to be when you grow up, I said I wanted to be Benny Hill.
Absolutely, he had a great life. Benny Hill was chasing women all the time. Julianne says, my parents put Lawrence Welk on while they're getting ready on Saturday nights. Yeah, it was something you watched. And it's just, and again, very talented musicians and stuff. It's just
great art. Just like, Lawrence Welk had no presence, nothing enjoyable about watching.
No, it was very. I always it was like a hostage tape. I always joked after I got older. That reminds me of a hostage tape that just no one had any joy, it seemed. And they were very talented musicians and singers. So
yeah,
the other
like Louis Armstrong on there. I mean, you got Joe Waters. I mean, all these great jazz players, and that's what I used to do is play jazz piano. And,
you can play the piano.
Well, I used to be. I mentally can still. I physically can't. I had an accident about 10 years ago, and I severed my ulnar nerve, so half of my hand doesn't work. And that's my keying.
That's hand. Yeah. Okay.
So no pianos getting played there.
So how can I put this? So you love music, you love reading, and it's enjoyable to listen to you and your friends talk about it. When did you start loving the Cincinnati Reds?
Oh, when I was a wee little thing. It's actually pretty funny because I'm a rather tall man, and when I played little league, like I hit my growth spurt before the other kids did, and they wanted me to play outfield, and I was like, no, I'm gonna catch.
Catching's always, I thought catching was fun as a kid because you were in the action all the time. That's what I liked about it.
Yeah, and I'm like, because that's what I've done for the past year and a half. I catch.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I'm like a foot taller than the other kids, but I'm a catcher. And they're like, well, no, we think you should play the outfield. I'm like, Johnny Bench catches, and I'm either going to catch or I'm not going to play.
So Johnny Bench was your idol as a kid, as a baseball.
Yeah. Oh, he's an absolute hero.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually met him a couple of times.
Did you? How was that?
Well, yeah, because he lived here in Cincinnati for a while. So, you know, I work. I've worked at high-end hotels most of my life, so you know I've got to meet him a few times. I've met him twice, I believe. Just very nice, very polite person. Anyone who's a Reds fan who doesn't want to hear anything bad, cover your ears. Pete Rose is a dick.
I've heard that.
There's no other way to describe him. He's a terribly unpleasant man.
That's
which is unfortunate because there's no taking away from him. Put that asterisk next to it, whatever. Like nobody's ever going to break that record.
Now I'm going to ask you a Pete Rose question. I believe he should be in the Hall of Fame, but you can put the thing saying banned from baseball operations. That's my feeling. There are people who disagree. There are people who agree. What is your feeling? Should Pete Rose be in the Hall of Fame?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's not the nice guy Hall of Fame. It's not the I don't have a gambling problem Hall of Fame. It's the Baseball Hall of Fame. And do you know who hit all those, what is it, 4,000?
Yeah, it's over 4,000 hits.
172. I mean, it's insane. Nobody's going to break that record because nobody plays that long anymore.
No.
But, you know, because if you're going to take him out, like I was talking about earlier, take Ty Cobb out because Ty Cobb was a jerk. I mean,
I just think I think you could put him in the Hall of Fame and you just put banned from baseball because he broke the big rule. He gambled on baseball. I don't see the big deal with that. That's all.
But I think Pete Rose belongs in the Hall of Fame a hell of a lot more than say Bonds.
As Moni G says, no.
Give me one moment. I'll be right back. Like I said, I'm on my phone and I have to grab a charger.
Okay, thank you. And Captain Carl says Johnny Bench was asked that question. He said no. Yeah, I did hear that. I'm just giving you my opinion, guys. I just think the all-time hits leader should be in the Hall of Fame. You can put banned from baseball operations. Banned from baseball. Yeah, banned from baseball operations due to he gambled. He broke the cardinal rule. But I understand people don't want him in. I just giving you my opinion. Now, how is everyone doing out there? It's been a fun chat. Julianne, let's go to her Lawrence Welk moments here. She had a funny thing. Moni G's grandparents watched Lawrence Welk. The bubble band. Yep, that's right. They would blow the bubbles. Julianne, there it is. Yes, Al, there wasn't even a choice watching. You had no choice. Yeah, you had to watch. You just sat down and they made you watch Lawrence Welk. It was horrible. It sucked. And I liked music as a kid. We always had music playing in our house. But, ugh. And again, they were very talented. I nothing against it was a hostage tape. You know, it was not bueno. The people weren't having fun. It just didn't seem like they were having fun. So we have mostly no votes for Lawrence. I mean, for Lawrence Welk. Yeah, no. Which would you rather have, Lawrence Welk watching or Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame? Discuss. So John went to go grab his charger. So we'll wait. It's been a fun discussion so far. I'm so happy we have John St. Baptiste on. Excuse me. I'm going to put his link to his channel in the chat. As that didn't work the way I thought it was going to work. Hold on, people. Hold on. Let's go back. We're going to put John's link in the chat. It's on the page, John St. Baptiste. Just type the name in. And go here. We'll bring that up. Oh, missed it. There's John. And here is Mr. How could I miss it? It's right. I did it before. So how's everyone doing in the chat here? And for some reason, it doesn't want to copy paste. All right, we'll get back to that. That's the way the cookie crumbles. As Moni G says, he's a bum. That's kind of harsh to say Lawrence Welk is a bum. I know she means Pete Rose. Captain Carl says, the thing was that Rose kept denying he even thought the evidence told otherwise. Yeah, no, you're right. I get it. And that got under Bench's skin. Hello, Ken Castro. Finished number 8 in his APA tournament. All hail the APA genius, Ken Castro. Sports writer extraordinaire from the great state of Rhode Island. Ken, how you doing? How's everything going? John St. Baptiste went to get his charger for his phone. I know you meant Pete Rose, Moni. And she says, no, silly. I want to put, I don't understand why. Let's try this again. And let's see if we can get that. There it is. Okay, let's go here. I'm going to give you the link, once again, to John St. Baptiste's channel. If you have not subscribed, please do so. He's at 185 subscribers. Let's get 15 more subscribers in there and get him to 200 and more. Wonderful, wonderful person, John St. Baptiste. And this is John's channel. John St. Baptiste. And ID Gestures just put something in the chat. I'm going to read that off in a moment. Lawrence Welk was okay. My parents always watched it and made the kids watch it. I love the outfits they wore. Yeah, there was some interesting stuff. It just always, it always seemed like a hostage tape to me. And like I said, thank God for Benny Hill. Because once we discovered Benny Hill meant I could watch Benny Hill for a half hour, and then I could escape the other half hour as they finished watching Lawrence Welk. ID Jester, another wonderful channel in our chat. Please subscribe to that. You're right. ID Jester says they were always smiling and having a good time. Well, I think they were forced to have a good time. It was on before Fantasy Island and Love Boat. Yep, that was a Saturday night lineup. And Fantasy Island, Love Boat came on first, and then came Fantasy Island. And I loved Love Boat. I know I said I loved Love Boat. I did enjoy watching Love Boat. And Fantasy Island could spook me at times as a kid. That sometimes freaked me out. Though I did like watching Herman Villachet say, the plane, boss, the plane. As Ken Castro says, forced like a colt, LOL. Yeah, that's the way I interpret it. Lawrence Welk, to me, was the Jonestown of music on television. It didn't seem like people had fun. I don't know. I could be totally wrong. Maybe they loved being on the Lawrence. It didn't seem like the Dean Martin show. That's all I'll say. No. As Julianne's laughing in the chat. ID and myself were on with Uncle Ron Juckett, Retro Sports Network, and Uncle Dave Gardner. And we had a wonderful time talking sports sims, card and dice modifications. That was a lot of fun. And I hope to be on ID's channel maybe next week or the week after. I think he was doing those on Tuesdays. And if you have not subscribed to ID Gesture, please do so. And if you want to be on his channel, he has his email right on his page. And if you want it, all you got to do is go next to ID's name, click the 3 dots, and go to channel and subscribe to ID Gesture. If you want to be, if you're a content creator and you want to be on ID Gesture's channel with Chat with ID Gesture, he's had Living My Rhapsody on. He has had Ron Juckett, baseball demos. Oh God, Clinton Parks. That was one of the funniest ones. They're all good. He's had so many others. He also does his baseball chats wherever I think they're going to do another one, but they did it before this baseball season started, and people had their predictions, and then they did it. Was it 2-3 weeks ago? And see how their predictions went. And he's going to do another one. So again, ID Gesture, wonderful channel. Probably our patriarch of the FOC, friends of the community, friends of the channel. End of the month will be another baseball chat, and it'll have all the folks on who made predictions. So, and again, we're waiting for. Did I lose John again? I should check, huh? I know he went to go get a charger. Let's see if we lost John again. It's just me. So let's see if John. He had to charge his phone. We're having a fun time with John. Is just music, literature, sports. It's just a fun. And again, we'll have him on again, and we're going to talk some movies and scores and soundtracks, because that's one of the things. And if we can get him back in a moment, as he went to change his charger. So we have lost him for the moment, but Moni might have to pinch hit again. That's okay, Moni. I won't make you. Moni was a good sport. She came on. She was in her nighttime gear, we'll say, and she was kind enough to come on and just shoot the poop with me for a little bit. Julian says, and Cylon Johns on Friday nights. Yes, let's get that in the chat. Cylon Johns with Johnny B. Crazy. And I believe Julianne's there. And Clarissa. And Amy from the UK. And Mackenzie Burns. And John St. Baptiste. That's a lot of fun. I go back and forth with that one, and Dave Little, who does his basketball games using Action PC Basketball. Let's see if he has that over here. No, I'm going to have to go back this way to subscriptions. And we'll put that. That's Cylon Johns. That's a lot of fun. They're all a lot of fun, but that is, it's just funny to, usually goes off rail. I like the off rail stuff. You know me. I love off rail. If you ever seen what people call the train wreck chat with Al on Saturdays, that's always a lot of fun. And I believe Chris from Stratomatic Delaware, he's changed the name. It's Tabletop Sports Delaware. He's going to be on this Saturday, I do believe. So we're going to have some good voiceovers maybe, as he does marvelous impressions. Lots of fun with that. So let's get to Cylon Johns. As you have to look under C, Al, because Cylon is a C, dum-dum. Here we go. Let's put that in the chat. And hopefully we can get John St. Baptiste back. Let's see here. Isn't that CY, Cylon? Is it the Cylon Johns? I bet you it's the Cylon Johns. Let's go to the chat real quick. I bet you it's the... Oh! John St. Baptiste is back. Thank God. Jake Cruz. How you doing, my friend? Terry T. Hope all is well. Oh, we got some luminaries.
I'm doing pretty irritated. There's issues with my phone, issues with my computer, issues with freaking everything right now. I think it's the
well, can you stay on a little longer, or do you want to go?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. anyway, I just put your link in the chat. Let's get you. We're trying to get you to. I like to see over 200. We should. I'm hoping that anyone who has not subscribed to our good friend John St. Baptiste, please do so. There's that handsome fella, and he's wearing his Cincinnati Reds tie, by the way.
We're going for 250 because if I hit 250 when I go to Con of Thrones,
yes,
I will cosplay Crawley from Good Omens.
All right, then we want 250. I want him to cosplay then, because I don't. Yes, 250. We can do that. We can do that. As Terry T is saying hello, Jake saying hello. Cylons like Battlestar Galactica. You are correct. That is what they talk about. Is ID Gesture, another wonderful channel. Again, the FOC is friends of the channel, friends of the community. If we sub one another, we all grow together, and that's what it's all about, and help one another out. So, all right.
No, absolutely. It you know, that's the thing. It's unfortunate that I've found there are some content creators out there who are unsupportive.
Well, you are correct. It happens. All we have to do is just be who we are and continue to be excellent, as you say. Living on a Prayer says, hello to all. How you doing, my friend? So, Pete Rose not doing well in the chat, John. Not a lot of people want him in the hall.
I'm not a fan. Like I said, I met him, and he's a terrible person.
Yeah. But anyhow. So, John, how did you meet Johnny B. Crazy, if that's a story that can be told?
I actually met him through Game of Thrones channels. That's how we first met up. The person who properly introduced us was Lawrence Corner, who, by the way,
she writes poetry.
Yeah, she actually just put out her third book. It literally came out yesterday.
I think
I'm waiting until I see her in Tennessee because she can make more money if I buy it physically off her than if I order it on Amazon. But you can find her stuff on Amazon.
I just want to make sure. Can everyone hear John in the chat? Because I want to make sure they can hear you. So that's cool.
No, absolutely.
As Julianne says, beautiful poetry at that. Yeah, it's cool. I've listened to her channel before. I don't think she likes me too much, but I listen. She does have cool poetry. Ken asks John, are you in? No, John's in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
He's in Ohio. I shouldn't probably say it. He's in Ohio. He's a big Cincinnati Reds fan. Danny N. Gray's Cards and Toys. How you doing, my friend? How's Gray doing? Another fun channel in our community. So yeah, it's funny how many people met via the Game of Thrones discussion.
I met you Johnny, didn't I?
We're having trouble here. At least I'm having trouble hearing you.
Sorry, I'm trying to make my phone work. My computer's
I know.
Working. Oh, great. I shut down again.
No, we can hear you.
Okay.
We can't see your handsome face, but we can hear you. ID Gesture says it's pretty soft volume. Okay, thank you, ID. I just, because you're the interview is so interesting to me. I just want to make sure everyone else can hear. So thank you, ID. Greatly appreciate the feedback. Yeah, John is a big Cincinnati Reds fan. One day I'm going to get Ken Castro on here. He's going to come on, and we're going to talk some fun stuff. It doesn't have to be Chat with Alan Saturdays. I know that panics people. I asked some people from the card collecting community, like, you want to come on? They're like, no. Yep, Jake Cruz says, Game of Thrones did create communities. Well, I got started in YouTube because I met Phil the Issues Guy and Joe Dirty Locks because I wanted to talk Game of Thrones. And actually, as I said, I met Joe Dirty Locks at Comic-Con Boston 4 years ago. And I bought a couple of comic books that were more of I never saw these comics. They're like movie comic books. That's all like this. Spartacus and Zulu. And I'll show you one because I got notes taped on the other. But really cool. And I actually read them once and then I put them in these things. This is Zulu. It's a comic book. I like the artwork. So that's Zulu, which is one of my favorite movies. And then, I don't own much collectibles, but these are my favorite. Let me take all my, I pinned up a lot of notes on it. So this is one of my all-time favorite movies, like Ben-Hur, Spartacus with Kirk Douglas. So, and I don't know if you can see that. Spartacus. Great movie, highly recommend it. So, those are two of my favorite collectibles I have. And I bought them just for the covers. I actually read them once. And they're not like mint condition or anything, but I love the covers. So I put them in there. I have some baseball cards one of these days I'm going to pull out from my cellar. And I forgot, I don't know if it was Captain Carl or someone else in the chat says, I hope your cellar's dry. It's fairly dry. And I got some in the cedar closet, so I know that's good. Oh, I got to dust that. That just was not bueno. But yeah, so those are a couple of collectibles. Yeah, the Game of Thrones did create a lot of friends and communities. Yeah. And again, I got them for the artwork. I read them. It's funny. I read them at the Comic-Con. My nephew and my brother-in-law were going to watch a panel that I couldn't get into because they paid for that one. I actually did watch the guys who did some Batman stuff. That was wicked cool. I would go back. I would go back again. A lot of walking, a lot of standing, but it was fun. I didn't think I'd... Oh, I went because William Shatner. Where's that picture? Oh, shit. Where'd I put that picture? I have a picture with William Shatner, Captain Kirk, one of my heroes as a kid. Anyone who can kiss a green woman is okay in my book. And here's one of my all-time favorite collectibles. No one's going to know this, but I was a huge Steve Grogan fan. Can you see? And this is the best Patriot helmet ever with Pat the Patriot. The old school Pat the Patriot helmet. How's that? And that's Steve Grogan's signature. And it's authenticated. Not that anyone cares, but he was my favorite football player. I wore number 14 in high school, just like my idol, Steve Grogan. I remember when I bought this about 5 years ago. Oh, my God. Wow. 5 years ago, my ass. I've had this since 2004. Time flies. Time flies. 5 years ago. Anyway, I went and I bought this. It was Christmas. See, it's a replica miniature helmet. And I was in the mall, and I was walking by, and I was going to buy something for someone, and I saw that helmet, and I was like, well, I'm getting that. I didn't even know who was on it. Yeah, it was a good year for football. And
I'm really sorry, man.
No, that's fine. I was just showing some of the little... I don't have many collectibles. I'll just show you. I was showing them. This is one of my favorites. This is a Steve Grogan signed miniature helmet. And it's, you know, like a real helmet, except it's miniature. And he was my favorite. He's my favorite Patriot player of all time. Number 14, Steve Grogan. Tough as nails. Played on some good Patriot teams, not great. Took a lot of hard hits. I also like Jim Plunkett. Now, I was very young when he played for the Patriots, but reading about him, and he's a really nice... His parents are both legally blind, Jim Plunkett. And he won the Heisman at Stanford. It's just a great story. Danny N. Grays and Cards and Toys says, Al may ask, do you like any NASCAR drivers at all? I used to like Earnhardt, but he passed away. And Tony Stewart always intrigued me just because I didn't like when he had that incident with that young, well, the guy died. He would race, and you know more about NASCAR than I do, Danny, but he was racing, John, like on Saturdays, he would still do the small race events, and people loved it. They get to go see Tony Stewart, right, at a reasonable price. And he got into like banging with the cars thing, and a young driver, his car got, and the guy gets out of the car to and he basically got hit by the car. He shouldn't have got out of the car, but still, that was horrific to watch because they showed it, and I never watched it again when they showed it once. But I was just showing.
NASCAR.
Now I would take that you've seen the movie Spartacus, right, John?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Both versions.
So I was just showing them. This is a comic I bought at Comic-Con in Boston many years ago, and I just bought it for the artwork for my when I went to go visit my friends at Comic-Con. And then there's Zulu, but I love the artwork. Again, they're not mint or anything like that, but it's just the artwork I love. I don't have many collectibles, but now who's the woman behind? You've told that before. You have a picture in your room above you to the. It's
Mary McDonald from Battlestar Galactica.
And yeah, and is that autographed? I believe.
Yes. Actually, Amy sent that to me.
Oh, cool!
Yeah,
That's
she and her
cool.
husband and their kids, they all went to the Comic-Con over there in England, and they sent that to me. I have my balsam vanilla, and I have a fishbowl full of concert tickets.
Oh, it's funny you do concert tickets. This is people are gonna think when I go to the movies, I save the stubs and I jam them in my mirror in my room, and I know like I can look at those stubs and know who I went to the movies with. It's just like a memory. It's nostalgia to me. So, as people are going, I am Spartacus in the chat. Ken Castro says Danny will like this. He said, I was in Tony Stewart's trailer when I covered NASCAR way back. He was brutal to a gang of reporters. Yeah, I don't think he's too pleasant to people. I mean, if he likes you, he probably likes you, but he seems like he could have an attitude.
We're talking about Pete Rose. I mean, Pete Rose is a dick, but it doesn't take away the fact that he's the greatest hitter of all time.
Yeah, it's funny. We talk. Sometimes you have an impression about a person, and you're wrong. Okay, so Wilt Chamberlain, who passed away, who I love playing games with teams with Wilt Chamberlain. Again, I'm a Celtics-Knicks fan, more Celtics than Knicks, but I always like Bernard King. And here's the one, the only time I would root against the Celtics, when Bernard King played for the Knicks, I would root for, because I like Bernard King out of Tennessee. I always liked him. I just like Bernard King. My friends would sit there and shake their head, but where I live is the Basketball Hall of Fame, okay? And my friends were working at the hotel years ago. And Wilt Chamberlain used to go every year to the most every year to the Basketball Hall of Fame when they had the ceremonies. And it was the first year my friends had worked with the Basketball Hall of Fame ceremonies coming up. And that hotel, they had all the luminaries. Most of them were there. And so they were telling me, they go, you'll never guess who the nicest guy is. And I'm like, Larry Bird was coming down and stuff like that and this and that. So I just was curious. And I just said, is it Wilt Chamberlain? They go, yeah. I go, I don't know. I just always thought he'd be a nice guy. And you always heard like he was and they go, no, he's the nicest guy. And so my dad was a barber. One of his friends was on the local committee, the Basketball Hall of Fame committee, not voting stuff like that, but like when the ceremonies take place, because he was in banking and all that stuff, so he got on the committee, and he goes, so I already heard my friends just rave about Wilt Chamberlain, how nice he was to people, just tremendously polite, buy them. He was a guy, after I watched his biographies and stuff, he wanted to be liked, because he was always considered the giant, this and that. So he was talking, he goes, I go, Wilt Chamberlain. I go, how did you know? I go, my friends told me. And then he said something that my heart sank just a little bit, but and they go, you'll never guess who wasn't a nice guy. I go, Larry Bird. And he goes, how did you know? I go, my friends told me. Because Larry Bird was more of aloof, like more aloof and stuff like that. But I've seen his biographies too. If he knows you, Wilt Chamberlain was more outgoing. But yeah, I'll tell you, when Wilt Chamberlain passed away, I was sad. I'm not lying about that. because my friends met him a couple. Like I said, he'd go down there, and he was just, and when they met him the second time when he came down, right? He remembered their names. Like he knew who, and it's not because he remembered people's names. And he was like, "Hey, how you doing?" That's kind of cool when you meet a night. Like I always go back to when I was a kid and I went to that wrestling at the Civic Center where I live, right? And you wait for the wrestlers to come out because my friend said, "Hey, they'll come out this door, but don't go too early because they won't come out. You know, they know people are there. Just wait." So we're like,
it's like bands after concert.
Yeah. So again, I'm 12 years old, and we're waiting, and it was fun. It was wrestling started to take off again. And so, quote unquote, I'm not going to name the good guys come out. They ignore us, right? Just, I get it. They want to go, and it's a shtick. But I always said Rowdy Piper, Paul Orndorff, Cowboy Bob Orton, and the guy I never remember, the fourth guy in that little crew, who were all actually real. They were actually real friends. They come out, and again, they either spent 2 to 5, 7 minutes with us just saying, "Hi, how you doing? Did you like the matches?" These are the bad guys, right? I get it. It's a shtick, but you remember that. And they're big, you know, they're big guys if you see them now, right? When you're 12, they're just humongous. And they were the nicest guys. And you like the matches? Oh, that's great. You're going to come back. And John, I never rooted for the good guys after that ever again. I was like, I'm in their camp. I'm a Rowdy Piper guy all the way.
my favorite, like, time I've met somebody like that. Story. Oh, I think I have my computer working properly again.
Excellent.
So it might be echoing for a second.
That's okay.
But okay, so you see 2 of me?
Yep, one of them's gone. Okay. There's a little echo. Okay, John's fixing that now. Let's go to the chat real quick. Peter Griffin's here. How you doing? He says, in 2nd grade, everyone in my class wrote to a celebrity. I was the only one to get a letter back, Hulk Hogan. Huh? That's cool. Okay, that's cool. That is, hey, you know what? As Terry T says, hey, Peter, Hulkamania. Ken Castro is a sports writer. I poop you not, and a very good one. Ken, who was, if you want, who was one of the nicest people that you have met in any sport? That's all. We're not even going to say who's an a-hole because I already know who you're going to say because we've talked about that. Hello, W. Vogs Will. He says, are we going live tomorrow? I'm planning on it. I do have company coming over to visit my dad, so that might go till next week. But yes, we're planning on that. If we do it, it's going to be late, though. All right. Well, how you doing? Well, Beatles! Eternally, our good friend Beatles Eternally. He says, I taught Mr. Castro everything he knows. Beatles Eternally. Beatles has a lot of baseball knowledge. Good man, Beatles Eternally. How the heck you doing? As Ken Castro's cousin. Everyone saying hello to Beatles. Beatles is a musician and a magician. And once he has time, he's going to be doing a few different things on his channel. We all look forward to that. And again, prayers and thoughts go out to you, my friend Beatles. As Beatles says hello to everyone. John St. Baptiste will be back shortly as he got his computer up and running again. So you get to listen to me babble by myself. But yeah, it was fun meeting. I tell you, I've met a lot of boxers. A lot of them are very nice. Oh, Danny wants to see the movie ticket stubs. All right. I'm not going to get them now, but I'll do that. I'll get some out. Some of them are really faded, Danny. But yeah, I used to say, and I saved a lot of them. And I'm going to see if that's going to be cool. I'll pull some, and I'll see if I can remember. I mean, I was usually really good about remembering who I went with. A lot of them were with my nephews when they were younger. So, thank you, Julianne. She's heading to bed. Nice chatting with you all. Thank you for stopping by and spending some time with us. So, and by the way, if Beatles Eternally has a YouTube channel, so if you've not subscribed to that, please do so. He's a member of the FOC, Friends of the Channel, Friends of the Community. Very good musician. Guess what his favorite band is? Let's see if anyone can figure that out. All right, 3 seconds. Who's his favorite band? Come on. 1, 2, 3. No one's got it. They don't know. It's incredible. Yeah, I don't have, like I said, I don't have many. I'm gonna get some of the baseball cards I had out. I gotta find. I mean, they're in the cellar, so I'll get some of those. That's always fun. The Danny gets it. Danny gets it. You just sub Beatles. That's what we do. We sub one another. That's awesome. Yay. And the Beatles. Danny's 2 for 2. Danny's on fire. He's in fuego. Also, let's all subscribe if you have not. Danny N. Gray's Cards and Toys. Wonderful. His son Grayson. Wonderful videos. Wonderful videos. As Beatles says, it'll be streaming again in about a month. Awesome sauce. Awesome sauce. Good to see our good friend Beatles. So, John St. Baptiste, subscribe his channel. Greatly would appreciate that. And again, he has had issues with the computer and the phone. We're going to see if we get him back on one more time. We'll go till about 12:30. Then Al has to get a little beauty rest. But I have trouble sleeping anyway. So, Danny N. Gray's in Cards and Toys. He has a video with his little son Grayson hitting a home run. Boom goes the ball, and Grayson touches them all. It's a little t-ball, wiffle ball thing, very cute. And they also, I like when they do the toy hunting. When he takes his son to the toy stores, that's awesome. So, as Terry T says, I'm pretty sure I'm subbed to everyone. What? We appreciate that, Terry. Thank you very much. What? Are there any movies that anyone's looking forward to? Ken Castro says he sent Beatles an email. Here comes John. Here comes John.
Am I here now?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
In all your glory, John, and we can hear you. That's the beauty of it. The reason why I kept asking you that, because you're telling us these wonderful stories, and I love them. And I'm like, can they hear him? Because I was having trouble, but now we have the one, the only, John.
I'm having tech issues tonight. My apologies.
No problem. We're going to be doing this on more occasions, even if I'm on your channel. We're going to be doing this.
Yeah, we're going to talk some music soon. Which I'm
Yep. And I'm just going to throw one of them out there, and we'll talk about it again. Okay, so what is a movie? Okay, I have this thing with people who like movies. Like if I'm doing something and a movie comes on, like you're just clicking around for some background noise, because say you're doing some housework or anything, a project, or you're working on, anything. There are certain movies I will literally stop and go, yeah, I got to watch this. Jaws has always been one of those movies for me. I just will stop and watch Jaws, Goonies. And there's other. What was it?
Revenge of the Sith.
So that's a movie, if it's on, that you will.
Empire Strikes Back used to be my favorite Star Wars film. And every Star Wars nerd who's as old as I am is going to flame the hell out of me for this.
No.
But, the more times I've watched it, Revenge of the Sith is my favorite Star Wars film.
Really?
Empire second, Rogue One is third.
I love, here's the thing. I love Rogue One.
Everything else is like back here.
Let me tell you something. Okay. The first one, just for the, and I like the first, Star Wars. I talked with Moni G last Friday. That was a coffee belch. I hate coffee belches. You get that, never mind. But
how the bloody hell do you drink coffee at this hour?
Yeah, then I'll fall asleep. I'll just like that. It doesn't matter. You know how I fall asleep? I put YouTube on. It's funny. I like Sherlock Holmes. There's a lot of different versions, and I'll put Sherlock Holmes and I'll listen to it, right? And it puts me out. But then when I really want to watch it, this is me if I really want to watch it, because I've conditioned my body, right? I'd be like, and I'm not lying. Like I once woke up, popcorn on the floor. I'm like, fuck. Like I fell asleep in my chair, and I wasn't even tired. The Sherlock Holmes came on. I went, like that. But
no, you do condition yourself to things like that. It's funny that you said you like can drink coffee at any given time. Like I don't. I can't have caffeine after about noon.
yeah, my sister's like that too. My sister cannot. Yep.
But it's funny because you know, Amy and I are going to be hanging out during con, and so is Johnny. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be me, Johnny, Amy, and Mackenzie are all hanging out.
Oh, she's coming down from Canada?
Kenzie's coming down from Canada. Amy's
coming from the UK then.
England.
Yeah.
And we're all going to do an episode of Cylon John's live.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Bobby's not going to be there, but she'll be there, but not there.
Right.
Same with Clarissa. But no, it's funny because both Amy and Johnny separately have said that they think I just live on whiskey and cigarettes.
What's your favorite whiskey?
Lafroig.
Okay.
Lafroig's
I like Jack Daniel's that honey. Don't laugh at me. I like that Jack Daniel's honey whiskey. It's good. It's sweet.
Okay, between us girls, because I think she's asleep right now.
Okay.
I actually bought Lauren's Corner.
Yep.
Her favorite whiskey is Jack Daniel's, and I actually bought her a bottle of Jack Daniel's honey.
Oh, it's good. And if you see me,
that I'm giving to her at con.
That's cool. If you see me on Saturdays, I don't know if you ever caught one of those shows, but I'll have ginger ale. 90% of the time, there's honey whiskey, and just a shot with the ginger ale. And I sip on it, and that's when stupid crap comes out of my mouth after a while. Usually, right away, stupid crap comes out of my mouth. Hi, JD, check out that wonderful channel. JD's soon to be publishing his book. I'm very excited about that. Can't wait to purchase it on Amazon. Dog Show is working with him, doing the editing. Hope all is well, JD. How's the weather out there, JD? How's the weather in Cincinnati?
It's okay now. It was really bad. That was why I was having all those issues. Now everything's.
It was freaking hot today.
The temperature is ridiculous. My comfort zone is like 55 to 65. ID Jester, who's in Florida, said it was 108 degrees there today. Yeah.
That's insane to me.
And I'm going to be in Nashville.
That's going to be hot. JD says 90s in the Colorado area. Sunny.
Oh yeah. I'm like we're going from the air conditioned hotel to the air conditioned car to the air conditioned convention center, and then turning around and getting the air conditioned car and going. I will not go anywhere not air conditioned when it's Nashville. A few years ago, I was looking at possibly moving back to Minneapolis or moving to Nashville. And a friend of mine, he's from rural Tennessee. And he's like, you realize you have like 100 days that it's in triple digits. I'm like, Nashville's out. Not going to do it.
Yeah, I don't. My favorite time of year is spring and fall. Those are they're very similar, except one's the start of something, one's the end of something, coming to the end. But we used to joke in, my area of Massachusetts, you'd go from winter, like for about 5-6 years in a row, to mud season. All of a sudden it rained. It was mud season. It was, mud everywhere, mud in my hair. I am a mud girl. It's just mud. It was every. This year wasn't bad. It
was awful for us. I actually think, I don't know if there's any record or anything like that, but the Ohio River was 63 feet high at one point in time. And I cannot think of a week that we didn't have at least 2 days of precipitation.
Yeah. JD says he's with you, John. 55 to 65 is all. 70s, that's fine. Yeah, I'm there too. I don't listen, I'll take the hot weather over snow. That's just me because as a kid, I like snow. They don't cancel work, at least where I work. like the zombie apocalypse could happen, and they'd be like, "You're coming into work, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, okay, I'm coming." I mean, I'm not, you know, they like never, they very rarely close the office. But
one of my favorite memes of all time. There's a meme where Palpatine's holding Anakin right after he caught on fire. You know, after his fight with Obi-Wan.
Yeah. The third prequel.
And it says, "You're coming to work tomorrow, right?"
That's pretty funny.
I've had those bosses.
Danny and Grays and Cards and Toys says, every Tuesday we put out our toy hunting video. I love them, so check them out. They're a lot of fun. Have to love summer, Danny says, because my birthday is June 21st. There are many more happy, healthy ones that come, my friend. I like summer. I'm not saying I don't. It's
I don't like sweating.
Yeah, sweating bad. Sweating bad. I don't like sweating.
I mean, I'm a person, like, this is actually, like, it's not an outfit. It's not a costume. This is how I prefer to dress.
I
like to wear a shirt and a tie and a wig.
Beatles. Sorry, John.
Oh, no, not at all. But yeah, when it's like 90 out, oh, you're just like, oh, this is brutal.
Moni G in the chat says, after the zombie apocalypse, numbers can crunch themselves out. Yeah, no. You got to show up to do the numbers, man. We got to get the financial reports out. Here's my favorite thing when you're doing accounting. I work with numbers, right? They go, why are the numbers like this? I don't know. I don't make up the goddamn numbers. These are the numbers. It is what it is. Now, you know, well, why did the utility bill go up in this store? Well, it's summer and the air conditioner runs. I'm being a little facetious, but usually it's like the rate or something. You got to go back. Well, the rate went up, you know. It's just fun.
No. I completely, on the one hand, I completely understand. Like, my mom's a CPA.
Cool.
And so, yeah, the number crunching thing.
Yeah, the number.
Don't you get it? And then on the other hand, what's funny, like I said, like I can deal with cold. I like being cold. Well,
you did say you were looking at like and Minnesota's cold.
Yeah. Well, my gas and electric bill in the summer is like twice what it is in the winter. In the winter, like my son and his spouse, I'm like, put on a fucking sweater. You're cold, put on a sweater. I'm not running the heat.
And then in the summer, put on a sweater. The air's on.
It's like unless you can see your breath, you're okay.
The JD says he likes early spring and late fall. Yeah, I've always liked that. I'll tell you. I think why. Hello, Lady Wolverton, and she says hello to everyone and John St. Baptiste.
Lady Wolverton, how are you?
Another fun channel. Moni G goes on there. They talk books all the time. I'll go and I'll watch. I haven't been there in a while. I gotta get back there, and I just enjoy listening to people who like doing what they do. I've always enjoyed that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Was it? Oh, yeah. I'm thinking about that. I think I like spring because of baseball, right? And then fall, it's coming to an end. The World Series, and I used to enjoy football a lot. My mom, God rest her soul, she was a huge Patriots fan. That was hilarious. Like, you couldn't say anything bad about the Patriots in this house. Like, even if they played bad, I'd be like, oh my God, they're just. And then we had an office football pool, right? And my mom would play it. And so she win quite a bit. And people are like, do you make your picks for your mom? I'm like, no, I don't. I go, my mom's pretty smart about sports. Not like she's, she pays attention. You might not think she's paying it. She pays attention. And then they're like, and then there's the other ones. Like, she'll make, she always picked the Patriots. She always picked the Saints just because they're the Saints. And the Cardinals, because she liked the bird. It was like these funny things. And you're sitting there going, and I'm like, Ma, you sure you want to pick this? They're playing. And my God, one time I made her change a couple of picks. And there's no way these teams are going to win, Ma, right? And they won. I was like, yeah, you just do what you want, Ma. You've won 7 times this year. And we would sit, this is kind of funny. I think you'll get a kick out of this. So My dad's in the football in the football pool still when we have it, and so it's a Saturday breakfast. The only time I actually eat breakfast, because I used to get up, help them, and then go to work, right? So Saturday I'm sitting, and my mom, we're eating breakfast, and my mom looks up and she goes, "How many times have you won the football pool?" I go, I won 3 times at the time, right? I go, yeah. And she goes back, she eats a little bit, she goes, sip of coffee. "How many times have I won?" Now I know she knows how many times she won, believe me, right? I go, and she had only won like 5 times, right, at that point, right? I go, 5 times. And she looks at my father and she goes, "And you haven't won yet at all." And it was just like, I laughed so hard. It's just wicked funny. It's just, and she's just like, "You haven't won at all, man." Oh, my dad just went.
It's fun. I don't do any of the pool stuff, but I will say I have to be very careful because there's a genetic trait in my family where men like gambling way too much.
Okay, we don't want you to do it way too much.
So I've always had rules for myself, and my rules are I play poker.
I've never been good at poker, so.
And I'll only play tournament style, no buy-in poker.
Is that the 5 cards? What's that called? The one they show on TV.
Texas Hold'em.
That's it. Thank you. Sorry.
But your money's there. I used to work at a casino. All your casino games are rigged so that the house is going to win.
Oh, absolutely. That's why they're open for business.
Yeah. The nice thing about tournament style is the house already took its money.
Because you have to buy in, right? Is that how that works?
You have your initial. So let's say it's a $100 buy-in.
Yep.
30 of that's going to the casino. And then the other 70 is going in the pot for the players who are playing, and the casino has already made their money. So it's just straight up you against the other players. And I'll bet sports, and I play the market. That's
yeah. They force us. They force us to play the market. It's called 401k.
In my youth, I liked drugs, and then I discovered the stock market. And
that could be a drug.
It's so much more of a thrill.
Take care, JD.
I did have some bad moments in 2008.
Yeah, we all did. Yeah.
But that's why you do what your accountant calls diversifying.
Yeah, but you know what? When things go like that, you can diversify all you want. They all hit the fan. You're sitting there going, oh. And then everyone's sitting there going, well, at least we're not retiring tomorrow. I'm like, yeah, thank God we're not retiring tomorrow. Here's my little point on that. When I was a kid, right, they'd actually teach you in school, and your parents would tell you, hey, work hard, put your money in the bank, you're going to get 5%. In the day when the bank used to give you close to 5%, you know what I mean? And that was a nice return, okay? And then then you take out a CD, like a 9-month, 18-month CD, and you make more money. And then things all change when the bank's interest rate. I get it. There's pros and cons to it. The banks change your interest rate so they could loan out money at a higher interest rate. I'm not even getting into that, but
no, yeah.
Because that's a whole. People listen to me and they get me all wrong because I'm certain ways with certain things. It's not gonna be one of these discussions, but it makes me laugh.
You and I are on the same page, but I'm not gonna hit that wasp's nest with the ball head.
Yeah, no, but you know what I mean, because I'll say something regarding one thing, and they'll assume I'm that way all the way through, which is whatever. That's fine. Anyway, so that's the way. So now you have to put your money, which you should put it in if you can, your 401k and stuff. But but you're playing. It's gambling. It's legalized gambling. I'm sitting there going, oh. I look just if the market's up or the market's down because that's all I do at times. And it's really nice when it's really high up there. And right now it's been pretty good and it fluctuates. It goes up and it goes down. I'll tell you a quick funny story about gambling. We like to, in the day, my friend and I, my dad used to do a lot of like to go to the horse track, right? And he was good at handicapping horses, him and his friends. So we would bet the big races, you know, the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness, the Belmont, and the Travelers, and what the hell is the other one? Breeders' Cup. We like the whatever those races. And so my friend goes, "Hey, we're gonna bet the race." I go, "You want to bet a horse race?" He's like, "Yeah, let's bet the horse race. Who does your dad like?" I go, "So we're just gonna bet what my dad bets." He's like, "Yeah, we'll bet what you do." Okay, so we bet what my dad bets. I go, and we're grilling. I go, "Benny, you're gonna come over?" He's like, "No, I gotta help my mom with something. We'll go out late because we used to go out Saturday nights and stuff, right?" So we're on the phone. I go, "The race is on. You got the race on?" And so our horse comes out of the gate like he got shot. And you're sitting there going, right then and there, you know, you just lost your money, right? And it doesn't matter how much you put up gambling. You never want to lose. You just have to accept this is money. I lost it. It's not going to hurt me. It still sucks, right? You know? My friend had the best quote. He says, "Al, at least when we bet football, we were pretty successful at betting football when we were younger, right?" He goes, "If your team's down, there's always, you know, a chance." He goes, "This is the fastest I ever lost any money." Because our horse literally tumbled out of the gate. We went, it was done. So that's my little,
yeah. It's one of the things you don't make emotional bets.
No.
I will never bet on the Irish. I will never bet on the Reds. I will never bet on County Cork soccer. Like if I'm a fan, no.
You can't. In the football pool when I was at another company, this was a good-sized pool. It went across stuff. Different companies were in different states. It was hilarious. Come Friday, John, in the chat, people were more concerned about, did you get our football? You know, like, and everything was done by fax. It was hilarious. Their fax machine's busy. I was like, God damn it. I was a credit manager then, right? I said, I told you to send all the pics early. And my dad would call from the apartment. Did you get our pics? It was just hilarious. Just like I go, why? I go, Mom wants to know if you got the. It was just fun, right? It's just a fun thing to do. It was a big pool, so you won decent money, but you didn't have to put a lot in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there was a guy. He was a Raiders fan in North Carolina. He ran that office for a former company I used to work for, and he was telling me he was a wicked nice guy. He helped me a lot when I first joined the company. And he says, I go, You're a Raiders fan, right? He goes, yeah. But yet you pick against them all the time. Yeah. And he always put like you weighed how much, you didn't pick with a point spread, but you, like say if I thought the Patriots going to win, there were 16 games, you put 16. So if they won, you got 16 points. Then it went 16, 15, you know.
Yeah.
It's a weighted thing. Anyway, it was fun. That's the way I run the pool at our smaller little office thing. And I go, so you're a Raiders fan, you pick against them and you put the max amount of points. We'll say 16 games that week, right? He goes, yeah. And then he explains to me, he goes, listen, if they lose, I win. If they win, I win. And that was his whole, and I'm like, okay, but you're rooting. He goes, no. I win no matter what. And that was his whole, it was pretty funny.
Right. It's a fandom thing. It's, Notre Dame has broken my heart so many times the past 20 years. So anytime I bet, I just pass that one up on the.
Yeah. I don't know if they had these in your area, but when I was young, again, I enjoyed gambling on football. I'm not going to lie about that.
Oh yeah, I live in Cincinnati. Now you guys have legalized sports betting, right?
It's supposed to pass soon. We have a casino now. We have 3 casinos in the state. There's one right down the street where I live. Oh, I'll tell you more offline about that because
we have a shit ton of casinos, but sports betting is never going to pass in Ohio.
But see, here's what's silly. Las Vegas had sports book. They were the only ones for the longest time until Delaware challenged it, saying, why are they the only ones with sports book? And then once that opened up Pandora's. Listen, they've legalized, again, I don't care if someone smokes marijuana. I don't, but I didn't vote for it. I voted for medicinal marijuana, but it's the law in the state now. Fine with me. Just stay home and do it. Don't get behind. You know what I mean?
Don't get behind the wheel of a car.
Yeah, just like out, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. My point is, so, and they give needles to people who have other problems. Okay, I'm not really fond of that, but I understand why they do that. I'm not fond of it. Why can't I bet a game legally? I don't get it. So I should be able to bet a sports game legally. We're supposed to have it. We're supposed to have it in April. It hasn't passed. It has to go through the gaming commission that they have in Massachusetts. It'd be nice to go bet a game legally if I wanted to. I haven't bet in a long time, except for horse racing. I have that TVG thing. I bet legally. I was on a good run until these past 3 big races, and not good so much. That's the way it goes. Don't do it, folks.
Well, it's one of the dirty things that I probably shouldn't talk about on somebody else. Do you know why Ohio is never going to have legalized sports betting?
No.
Because the books make too much.
Oh, the book, yeah. Because you mean the bookies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure.
No,
Hello, Mike.
They have their own lobby. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. We'll just talk about legalized marijuana for a second. Again, I didn't vote for it. I signed the petition so people could have a choice. I believe in that. You want to vote for it? Vote for it. I voted for legal for medicinal purposes for people in pain. Again, I don't care if you do, you don't do it. Just like John said, stay out. Don't get behind the wheel. Don't hurt anybody. That's my whole point with that.
Right.
The shit. What was my point? Okay, so oh yeah, marijuana, legalized marijuana. They're going to tax it too much. Here's the problem: if you tax it too high, they're still going to go buy it illegally. You're kind of defeating the purpose. Tax it I always said tax it like you tax alcohol, but you can't, John. When they open those places up, lines, John, lines. Again, I don't care if someone lines like around the corner to go buy, and you can own in Massachusetts, if you're a little more industrious, 3 marijuana plants per person in your house. So you could have, you could do it yourself, I guess. I don't know how to. It was funny. My dad tells a story when he was in Italy. He goes, yeah, that's cannabis. It grew all over the place where I grew up. The birds used to eat the seeds and they were always singing. It was just, that was one of the funny stories he used to tell me. But yeah, so I think John froze. You there, John? John froze. We lost John again. Am I still going? That's the question. Chat looks okay. How's everyone doing? Can you all hear me in the chat? We lost John. Well, we're going to go hopefully we get John back for a couple more minutes. We can say goodbye. And Moni says, being a Lions fan, I don't bet on you can't bet. Like I would never bet the Red Sox, never bet the Patriots. Thanks, Mike. We lost John again. He was having issues with his PC earlier. So, Jake Cruz, I mostly bet football, but I bet every week. Just again, be careful. Make sure you don't want to lose. You don't want to lose. But if you do lose, it's not going to take away from your financial welfare. With anything you do, if you're going on vacation, don't let it take away from your you still got your responsibilities. So, yeah, Moni, I don't know, and it sucks because we're having such a good time. I mean, it's 12:40. It's almost 1 a.m. here, and I'm just having fun. I kept going, yeah, we're going off, but we'll wait a little bit. If he doesn't come back on, we'll just say, I hope everyone enjoyed it. It was off to a rough start. Moni G popped in, helped me out for a couple of minutes. Greatly appreciate that. We will have John St. Baptiste back on again, and we're going to do a big movie chat. We didn't get to that. I was just going to ask him a couple of things. We kind of did, but we're going to get to a big movie chat. Very nice person, John St. Baptiste. I highly recommend subscribing to his channel. And if you're a content creator, and I'm looking at the names in here, most of you are content creators. He's back. And then God said, let there be John. And John, there he was.
I am so sorry, Al. I'm so embarrassed.
I was talking to you, right? I'm like, he's either enthralled with my conversation, because you're like this, right? Or it froze. So before anything else happens, I was telling a story that made no sense to everybody anyway. As Mike says, low 80s sunshine in Southern California today. Cool. John, what are some not final, but I'd like to, in case we lose you again. So what's first, again, thank you very much. So much fun.
We were talking about meeting cool people and talking
Yep.
about music. My favorite story from my own personal life of all time. I was 16, 15. This is 94. And Jonette Napolciano from Concrete Blonde. It was Concrete Blonde's final tour.
Now, what type? I'm not familiar with that group. What type of music? Is that punk? I'm just assuming punk. I could be totally wrong.
Rock and roll, I would call
Okay.
it. You need to check them out if you're not
I
familiar.
will. Concrete Blonde?
Concrete Blonde. Their music's awesome. But this was 94, and that was the year, like, you're in Boston, so I imagine it was even colder.
Yeah, I'm west of Boston. Yeah, I'm in Mass, though. I'm west of Boston.
But that was the year for us, like here in Cincinnati. It snowed on Halloween, and it never got warm again, like not until like April. And so it was like down in the 20s. And we went to the concert. It was in November. Myself and the girl who I was seeing at the time back in high school. And we hung out backstage afterwards. You were talking about like hanging out, talking to the wrestlers.
Yep.
You know, we hung out backstage afterwards. And she came out and she's like, I didn't think anybody would be out here. It's really cold. So there were like 7 people. She invited us all on her tour bus.
That is cool. Wow.
Oh, it gets even better. Okay, so I am violently allergic to chocolate. Like,
oh, really?
It'll kill me.
All right, no chocolate for you.
Like, it'll kill me in like 3 minutes. Okay.
Puffed up. So is it like the peanut allergy? Like if you smell it, you get sick?
If I smell it, I feel nauseous.
Okay. Continue.
But,
I'm sorry. I was just curious about that.
Yeah, if I eat anything,
yeah, don't do it.
Chocolate in it. And so she invited everybody on her tour bus, and she was like, "Oh, I'll make cocoa for all of you." Which is just the funniest thing. You got this like singer from this band that at the time was like huge. And she's like, yeah, I'll make you some hot cocoa. And I'm like, I'm very sorry, but I can't even touch that. And she's like, oh, don't worry about it. This is the best. So she made, and keep in mind, I'm like a teenager right at this time, not legally allowed to drink alcohol. Earl Grey tea and Drambuie. And she's like, if this doesn't warm you up, nothing
will. That's cool, man.
And she like sat there and entertained us like guests in her house for like 3 hours.
You know what's funny about that? You can't fake that. You know what I mean? You can't, that person's not faking being genuine. You can't. That is really, really, that's cool. Like you said, that's an experience that you remember your whole life.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'll take it to my grave.
Because it's okay, I've been to a lot of boxing events when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
And some people, most of pugilists, boxers, fighters, however you want to call them, have been very nice. I mean, and it was always amazing to me, like some of the, I don't want to say lower level because they were contenders, but maybe a regular sports fan would not know them. I knew them. So when I went, like, there was a guy out of Connecticut, Troy Wortham. And I was like, that's Troy Wortham. And my friends were like, who's that? I go, he's junior middleweight contender. He's going to fight for the title. And I went up and I talked. He hurt his hand. He never got his title shot because, long story short, he took a fight to get the title shot again because he was out for a while and he lost. And then he never got his title shot. But Troy Wortham, he was just the nicest. He was from Connecticut, so that's not far from where I live. And I knew all about him. And I met a couple other guys. It's fun when you meet someone and they're just, at least they're pleasant. You know, it just makes it. It just makes it. And most of, I have famous people, I guess, being, would be, people that I've met were, because I go to a lot of local boxing shows in the day when they had them. And the boxing, in my area, they used to have a Rocky Marciano Foundation that raised money for college, for kids, a scholarship. And they would bring boxers in. I met a lot of nice people. And you could tell when someone's just being polite because they're supposed to be. And you could tell, like, I met Joe Frazier. He was awesome. Joe Frazier, one of my all-time favorite fighters, was freaking awesome. He was really nice. He was a really nice guy. Most of them were nice. So it's pretty cool when you do meet, whether a musician, an actor, whoever, someone that you're like, oh, that's cool. And they're nice.
And then the others, and I'm not going to talk about it. I mean, I've met a lot of musicians in my life. I've met a lot of DJs in my life because, I mean, that's...
Well, you used to DJ. That's when... Yeah. Do you miss that?
I don't miss the hours. I certainly don't miss being up until 4 a.m. But, yeah, there are things I miss, but I try not to get political about stuff, but Joe Biden got his freaking law passed, the rave law. Are you familiar with this?
Well, raves were dances. That's my layman's.
Yeah, but there was a law passed that.
I'm not familiar with the law. No, I'm not familiar.
When Joe Biden was a senator, he'll pass it through, and I think it's terribly. And this is coming from a man in his 40s, as opposed to, back then when I had to deal with it. But it's called the rave law, and the way the law is written, if you're a promoter,
you're responsible for what happens.
For an event, yes.
Yeah.
So if somebody shows up at your event selling drugs, you get charged the same way.
Yeah, that's not right.
That they do. Like just for having the event. And yeah, that was the beginning of my end.
Yeah, because I understand that.
That's when I went to clubs for a while and DJ'd at clubs for a long time, but the club scene's gone out, and honestly, I people don't understand or realize, I think, most of the time, how expensive it is to be a DJ, because you have to keep current with your music. So you're buying like new records every week, like spending $200-300 on records every week. And then on top of that, club might shut down, or, because of some stupid stuff like that. Do I miss it? Yeah. But on the same note, I don't miss all the BS,
Yeah. They had similar issues where I live, because it was a fine line with their, how can I put this? Things would happen at certain places at a certain time all the time. And so what they did was, and it worked, you make those places close a little earlier, and people weren't happy with that. Well, people weren't getting killed anymore either. Again, maybe it's something, it's a fine line when it's a little different circumstance what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's, you know, because it's tough when, and I'm not talking about that law because that was just a heavy, that was just you telling me about that. That's something that you're telling everyone's guilty for what someone else did. And, you know,
Right.
yeah. So,
Yeah,
but
no, I get it. I mean, I'm a pretty big advocate of responsible behavior.
no, I know that. I know that. John, I'm going to turn the helm over to you for one moment because I have to go do something real quick for Pops. And you have the helm, my friend.
Oh my
And
gosh.
we'll go for another 8 minutes and 5 minutes more, and then you'll do your spiel. You're out, and this was awesome. So I'll be right back.
Yeah, everybody, I'm so sorry I kept dropping out. Having some tech issues tonight. I'm just really happy that everybody wants to come out. Like Al is one of the coolest guys on the planet. So supportive of other content creators. Really awesome. And thank you all for sticking around. Let's see. What should I all the jokes I know are so offensive that I have to cover my own ears if I tell them. So maybe a story. Most of my stories are so offensive that I'd have to cover my own ears if I tell them. Who's out there in the chat? I can't see the chat right now. Like I've been having these computer issues all night. But I know Bobby stopped in. If you get the opportunity, check out Bobby's channel or her Facebook page. Handmade by Bobby, which is awesome. She makes some great stuff. Check out Silent John's, which we do every Friday night. All of you, I just thank you for hanging out and having fun and putting up with my tech issues. And yeah.
John,
Sorry, I waffled as much as I could.
you did a beautiful job. And thank you for being on. Hopefully we'll have you on again. Thank you for everyone who was in the chat. It was a rough start, but it went really well. We had bumps and bruises, but we adapt, we improvise, we move on. It was a lot of fun. Remember to subscribe to Mr. John St. Baptiste. He's at 185. We want to get him to 250 because he will do cosplay
Yes.
of a character, which I already forgot because that's what Al does. He forgets things.
Crowley.
Crowley from Battlestar Galactica.
No, from Good Omens.
Good Omens. Sorry.
So you get to see me with red hair, which is like my real hair color. And no facial hair.
Oh boy, I don't know how I'm going to react to no facial hair there. No. Anyway, John, I hope.
You told me Inigo Montoya the other day. I thought that was the coolest thing of all time.
I love Inigo Montoya.
My name is Inigo Montoya.
You killed my father.
Killed my father.
One of the best scenes I've already in movie history.
Yeah, it's up there. It's definitely up there.
We'll go out on this. A quick last discussion, real quick. Again, Moni G and I talked about this last week. It's a fun movie, Princess Bride. Fun, goofy, enjoyable movie. Another one of those movies I enjoy watching. And then it gets to that part, and you're like, "Holy crap!" You think this guy's gonna die. I'm like, "Wow, that got dark real quick." And then one of the greatest movie lines ever in movie history, as he kills that son of a bitch, that bad guy, Count Rugu, or whatever the hell his name was. I want my father back. Because the guy says, "I'll give you anything. I'll give you money, women." Blah, blah, blah. Yep. And he cut it just like it. And he goes, and the bad guy's pulling that knife, and you think he's gonna shiv Inigo because he's already like dying, right? And he gets him. And he says, "I want my father back, you son of a bitch." I was like, whoa, that is deep. I mean, to me, that's one of the best lines in movie history.
I'll drop it in my top 10, definitely.
Yeah, it's just, yeah, top one of my favorite lines. That, leave the gun, get the cannolis. I laugh every time I watch that. Leave the gun, get the cannolis, which was an ad-libbed line. Awesome. God. So.
Yeah, oh, you want to, oh. I mean, yeah, like it's definitely my top 10 movie lines of all time. Leave the gun, get the cannolis. That's a good one. Personal favorites of mine.
Yes.
I
have some Jaws ones too. So.
Now, personally, for me, just because it's one of my favorite films ever, is now let's get all these other piggies moving. From Kill Bill.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Yes, you did, and you said that was one of your favorite. That is the best soundtrack.
Quite possibly my favorite soundtrack. But like Uma Thurman, that whole scene where you know she drags herself into the car because she can't even make her legs move. Wiggle your big toe. Wiggle your big toe, and then she goes to the flashback. And then it goes back to the scene, and she's like, she can move her pinky toe, and she's like, let's get all these other piggies wiggling. I like that. A lot of people are not fond of the movie, but another favorite of mine is from the episode 7 of Star Wars. What is it?
Was that the last one? Because
the Force
Awakens.
The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
We never got along, but I always hated watching you walk away. That's like the most romantic line ever.
It's a good line. Then there's the "I'll have what she's having." Harry Met Sally.
I'll have what she's having.
So we'll give you one more line, John, and then you'll tell us what's coming up on your channel, and then we're gonna head out. Happy trails.
Oh, one more line. If I only get one more.
Well, you can have more later on, but this is it.
I was cured all right. That's from the Clockwork Orange.
That's a good line. I'm not a big fan of that movie. That movie's a little bizarre to me, but it's,
If something Stanley Kubrick made is not bizarre to you, you're an insane human being.
Well, at least I'm looking at it correctly then. One of my last lines, and we'll discuss more movies next time we have our good friend John St. Baptiste on. Remember to subscribe, please, and subscribe to all the wonderful content creators in the chat. Jaws. Roy Snyder's throwing the chum out. The shark pops up. We're going to need a bigger boat. I always love that line. So, John, tell us what's coming up on your channel.
We have, like I said, music is actually going to be coming back on Sunday. I took a little break just because I needed to rest, because everybody needs sleep every once in a while. And then we will be doing Good Omens episode number 5 next Wednesday.
That's a lot of fun. I watched the last one. If you can catch them live. That's always the funnest, to catch live streams. If you can, catch it on demand also.
And, of course, on Friday night, not on my channel, but on our shared channel, Silent John's, which Al has personally said is his favorite stream that he is not on.
Yeah, you guys never have me. I wouldn't know what to say anyway, but
I watch the show.
It's funny. I enjoy the show. I don't watch the show. I enjoy your stream. I watch the old one, but the best part.
It's the best telly in the past 20 years.
The best thing I like is they'll go, "Is Al still here?" And I'm like, "I'm still here. I'm listening. I'm playing a game. I'm listening." I jump in. They had one month ago that was They said the magic words porn. I went, what? It's a lot of fun. It's not. I'm kidding. It's a lot of fun. Highly recommend all those channels. John, thank you very much. Thank you to everyone in the chat. Health and
thank you for having me.
And I hope we get to. I hope you would. Maybe you'll come back on. But like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I would very much look forward to discussing movie music with you.
Yes, that was going to be our original thing, and then again, Al improvs everything. Is like, yeah, I've sprung this on John late, so when we do that one, we'll have a little more. At least I'll tell him what we're going to talk about. Anyway, take care, everyone. Health and happiness the next time. Bye bye. God bless. You know what's coming. Peace.
What's up?